Hi there, welcome in. Today, reflections, literally and figuratively. First, a thought. Life is about perspective and how you look at something. Ultimately, you have to zoom out. Whitney Wolfe Herd. Now, before I get going, I want to wish you a happy Father's Day this weekend. My dad, Don, turned 89 last Saturday, and not at all quietly. My two Kelowna sisters took him to see the Top Gun sequel in IMAX. Well, Dad loved it, but of course he complained to a staffer about the volume on the way out, which is beyond ironic because a lot of Dad's hearing loss is thanks to the engines on jets he flew as a young man. Anyway, we're grateful, and this is one of my all-time favorite picks with him from last year's birthday. Well, as you know, Rob and I were on the water too, more recently together. We enjoyed a glorious AMA Waterways River cruise from Amsterdam up the Rhine to Switzerland. Now, the past week has given us time for reflections on not just the sights, like this one I just shot in Amsterdam with literal reflections. And isn't this so serene? And then there was Cologne, where lying on your back can be the best way to get a picture like this. I'm just glad the sidewalks weren't poopy like in Paris for this one. But you can stand in awe while you look at the lighter parts of this cathedral, partially rebuilt after the Second World War. Amazing. But it was also time to look upon the light or shadow that easing out of a pandemic cast on this recent excursion. First off, masks. Rob and I wore them consistently on planes, in airports, noticing all the while that in Amsterdam, few people did, despite signs at the airport asking us to. While in Frankfurt's insanely busy headache of an airport, almost all travelers donned theirs. On the riverboat, the rules were, like so many places in our lives here in Canada and abroad, a little blurry. We could take off our masks while seated at dinner and in the salon, but if we were standing or walking, outside of our cabins of course, the masks had to go back on. Those of us who chose to wore our masks in crowds and in stores when we were off the boat, and of course on buses and so on, and especially on planes. But the overall feeling expressed by most of us wasn't fear, it was gratitude to be traveling again. And there was this sense of togetherness that I'd forgotten. We all had our favorite radio station and memories in common. People were so kind, and it felt more like a reunion than a group vacation. So I want to end on this note of beauty and positivity. Although Rob and I lost our luggage coming home, thanks in part to that too short connection in Frankfurt, and the inevitable staff shortages worldwide as workforces feel the toll of illness, there was one woman who was a beacon of light to us all. Sharon ODriscoll is a retired school principal who joined us on this trip, but her luggage did not. She told us this with a laugh on our first day together, and then I made a little announcement to our group. And it took a few words and people just stepped up. I lent her a few tops, others gave her moisturizers, toothpaste, and other items to help make her week manageable. But Sharon had just the best attitude. She didn't complain, she laughed, she made new friends, and turned a distinctly negative occurrence into a chance to connect, to be vulnerable, and to accept help. Get this, even at the hotel after her cruise, her one little carry-on that she had went to the wrong room. It seems for someone that light of spirit, Sharon is indeed carrying precious little baggage. It's just the universe with its twisted sense of humor decided to test her on that, literally. Oh, and her bags finally did arrive at her home one night before she got back to Canada. They were there to greet her. She's not looking for money from Air Canada. She's considering all of the people who tried to get her bags to her under the most straining of circumstances. She was quite literally a moving target for her baggage. So thank you, Sharon. Thank you to each person who joined us on our trip, to Jerry from New Wave Travel in Toronto, who never disappoints, and to you for coming along. We won't be leaving Canada again for a good long while, as family holds us here like a precious magnet. But it was lovely while it lasted. And yeah, the laundry is finally done. Have a good weekend and a very happy Father's Day.